That's gonna take forever to download.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm glad I got the Xbox One X though, just because the size of it will allow me to have that. Oh, damn it! The damn podcast started without us.
Wow.
Again, we caught it last
Again.
time. Throwing me off my loop here. Anyways, hello everyone, and welcome to the Frantic Talks podcast, episode 89. I am your host, Frantic. With me, not usually, but sometimes, but right now, currently, even though it's not normally, always, is my lovely co-host.
Freak show.
And we're here to talk about gaming.
Junk.
Hey, he got it. So yeah, Grunt is out this week. He honestly, he got some mouth work done. I think it was some dental work. Everybody's got to have some of that done. I don't know what the extent of it was. I remember when I got my wisdom teeth removed and couldn't talk for like a week. So he's not joining us, but Freak Show is here with us today, and we're going to have some fun talking about a lot of different stuff today. We got a really weird situation with an Amazon delivery driver, comparison of games with Gold and PlayStation Plus, and all the nonsense and hoopla surrounding Destiny 2, which, of course, we have opinions on, and I'm sure those of you that follow us and know that we like Destiny will be interested to hear what we have to say. Anyways, without getting any further into all that details, let's go over how you can continue the conversation to find us and, continue the conversation. Let us know what you think. So the easiest way to do that is to check out the Twitter handles right next to our names. I am at FranticJ3. He is at FreakShow187, and we are at Frantic_Talks up there in the logo. And our normal host at Onyx Spartan, that is Grunt. He is MIA today, although he is in the chat right now watching us live, so that's pretty funny. Dude can't talk, but he can show up and throw his 2 cents in, so that'll be fun. Anyways, you can also head over to facebook.com/Frantic Talks straight up there, or you can head over to twitch.tv/Frantic Talks, all one word. Twitch, you can catch us live usually every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes doesn't happen. Last week it didn't happen. And also frantictalks.com over there, the last link, if you want to go and check out all our articles, which I will try and get up in the background here right now. Hey, look, it worked. One try. Man, getting really good. So anyways.
It's like you've done this before.
So the freaking browser with Open Broadcast Studio just has all kinds of issues. Like it sometimes shows up, sometimes doesn't. It picks the wrong window. I didn't test it before this, so that was kind of dangerous to just throw it up there. Luckily, I don't have anything stupid open, but that's basically what happened there.
Well, maybe you should go shopping with Windows with it next time, so it doesn't pick the wrong one.
Why do I have you on this podcast? Why do I let you? Anyways.
Because we're friends.
That's true. All right, so you can head over to those places. We have a Discord channel. It's in our Twitch chat. Head over to frantictalks.com. Like I said, it's up in the background. In the footer, you'll find all the details I just mentioned. You can also find links to our Magic the Gathering site, which is magic.frantictalks.com. All that fun stuff is there. Hopefully, you find what you need. We'll go over some articles that came up this week, but we like to do this one way, starting with a very, very simple question, and that is, Freak Show, how was your week? Or, I guess, weeks, since we haven't been live for 2 weeks.
Past couple weeks been a thing. I mean,
Yeah, I do, but most others don't. I didn't really say anything about that.
Right. Yeah, so I was at your lady friend's house, your house, or whatever.
Yeah.
I was in the room that you're currently in.
Well, you've been in this room, let's put it that way.
Yeah, I was there for like a minute, 2 minutes.
Just showing you the place.
Yeah. So I was there for what, like 4 days?
Yeah, it was a Sunday and then to Thursday. So.
Yeah, and then I took the great travel. That sucked.
Yeah, I can't imagine that was pretty fun.
It wasn't. Like, none of the buses had power outlets, even though they said they did.
Those lying, conniving sons of bitches.
The first bus, the Wi-Fi didn't work, and then the last 2 buses I was on didn't even have Wi-Fi.
Oh, I remember you texting us that too.
Yeah.
It really sucks.
Yeah, I texted you that from a Burger King.
I don't remember you saying that. I just remember, I haven't had Wi-Fi.
Yeah. By the way, the Burger King Wi-Fi is named Whopper Wi-Fi. So
I feel like they could have came up with a better pun than that. And that's not even a pun. That's just alliteration.
Right. I mean, it's good though.
Keep talking. I'm gonna come up with something.
Yeah, so I did that. Currently in South Dakota now.
Have you been to the Mount Rushmore? I know you're close to it, closer than you were at least.
No, but I've seen the Corn Palace.
The Corn Palace, more like.
It's about as exciting as it sounds.
I was thinking like a religious circle of just corn, worshiping the.
No, it's like a castle / cathedral thing made from corn.
Oh, you actually mean this is? I thought you were just making a joke that it was all
No,
corn.
no, it's
That's
a
even
thing.
funnier. Oh my god!
It's an actual thing.
So Grunt and Grunt Dad or Storm, whichever you want to call them, they're both in the chat right now, and they're going to hear that in a minute. And I'm excited for them to hear that because I want them to know, and they know this because I say it all the time. Literally, once you get to Indiana, and yes, Grunt, the Corn Cathedral is apparently real, but it's that ridiculous. They just worship corn out there. Reminds me of
I'll find a picture of it later and send it to you guys.
It reminds me of the Family Guy cutaway where Stewie's in like this little like diner out in the middle of Nebraska, and he's like, "Seen any good movies lately? No, not really. Any good TV shows? No. Corn? Oh, corn's interesting. Oh yeah, there's always something to talk about with corn." Jesus Christ. Okay, well, the trip was you made it safely, which is the important thing. You made it.
I did.
Getting your feet on the ground, getting your feet wet even, and glad things are at least looking up. So
yeah.
All right. So let's see. Is there anything else you got for your week, or besides like playing games?
Just playing video games and
any
stuff.
Fun games, or just whatever the hell?
Skyforge is a free game on Xbox. It came out like last Wednesday for some weird reason. It's like an MMO thing. Think,
texting us about that.
Yeah. Think like Diablo style graphics, like Diablo 3.
Okay.
Just with an open world and a lot of other players.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, I always enjoyed Diablo. Sure.
Yeah, you should try it out. We got there's a Rubber Ducky Death Squad clan on there.
I'll download it if I got room after this, Trials of Osiris update or whatever it's called. I already forgot the name of it.
The Curse of Osiris?
Yeah, the Curse of Osiris.
Gonna put a curse on your storage space.
It is. I hate you still. And I'm gonna move on and talk about my weeks because I don't want to listen to this. So I'll fully admit, last week there wasn't a podcast episode simply because of the team on my shirt right now. Ohio State was playing Michigan right at the time we normally go live. As a true Ohio State fan, couldn't miss the game. Send me the hate all you want. I'm not one of those overzealous, ridiculous people, but I enjoy the team. You probably knew that already, though. So that's why there wasn't one this past week. But in terms of stuff I've done, I've just been doing random stuff, playing Call of Duty 4 Remastered, because I got that during the Cyber Monday, Black Friday stuff. Also got the Xbox One X. Oh, yeah. I'm also a nerd, but I got the Xbox One X during Black Friday.
There's an Xbox One X upstairs. It's pretty great.
So I guess my thing with it is a lot of the games still don't support 4K. Because the thing just came out in the past month. It's not even a month old yet. And a lot of the games weren't coded for a console to be just open-ended, to let them go as fast as possible. So when you get a game on the PC, there's no limit to how good it is. You set the graphics settings. But when it's on the Xbox, it's limited to make sure the hardware doesn't overstrain itself. I can say that with my TV and this Xbox, a lot of the games look even better than before. Like playing Destiny, it looks really vivid. Even playing like an older Madden game I went back to and picked up, it looks really good compared to what I was used to. And Call of Duty looks really good too. It all looks really nice. It's not even 4K yet. So I'm excited to see where the 4K comes into play. With the new update, the Curse of Osiris update, they're going to enable 4K. I'm excited to see that because it's going to look nuts. So I got that.
No, it's not going to look nuts. It's going to look like Destiny.
Okay. Technicalities, but still, it's going to look really good, I think. Yes, Grunt, they actually finished at 1-15 in my season, just so you know. The 1-15 Jaguars. How they should be, not in second place in the AFC South. Titans fan. I will root for their demise all day, every day. Uh, other than that, though, been planning on moving. A lot of stuff happened in the past 2 weeks that you just haven't been updated on, and I don't really tweet out about shit like that, but you'll notice a lot more boxes in the background. This room will be changing. I'm moving to a different apartment here in the next 2 weeks, actually. So all that stuff will change. The background will probably be different. Probably won't be a window here. It'll probably be somewhere different. Who knows? We'll find out. But other than that, that's been pretty much everything going on with me. Kind of your standard stuff, playing some games, you know.
Shooting noobs
in Call of Duty. Dude, I was really weird. Last night I jumped on and was playing, and the first 2 games I went on 10 kill streaks immediately in the first minute of the game. It felt really weird, because normally it's like you get one game where you're like, oh my god, I'm doing really well. And then the next game you kind of get back to your normal grind, and it happened like 2 or 3 times in a row, and I was like, what the hell? This is really weird. And I'm not going to complain, but this is odd.
I've had games like that in Destiny. With everyone except Grunt. I've went unbroken like 4 times in Destiny 2. None of them with Grunt.
I was there when you went unbroken, I'm pretty sure. At least one of them.
Yeah.
Never done it. I've done it in Halo. Not unbroken, of course, but what is it? Perfection? 25-0 or 15-0 or one of the two? I don't remember. I've done
something like that.
Yeah, I've done it in Halo 3, and I think I did it in Game of Reach.
I actually was playing the Trials of the Nine, and my whole team went unbroken in one game.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's very unbalanced. So yeah, Perfection's 15-0 from what Grunt said. So I've done Perfection in Halo twice. It was Halo 3 where we got matched down against these really new to the game kids, so I can't really brag. But then there was a game of Snipers where I was just doing really good, and they couldn't stop me. So I guess I only have one under my belt that's really true, but whatever. Who cares?
Also, there's now a picture of the Corn Palace in group chat.
Oh, great. My phone is in another room charging, so I'll have to view that in a little bit. But Grunt, check that out. That's a real Corn Palace. You should put it in our Discord chat so people can join up and check it out. All right.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
All right, so while he's doing that, we have a couple of different things to point out. First up on screen is the new articles on the website. We're getting back into our groove after the crazy weeks of, Freak Show being on the move and me being busy doing stuff and Grunt being busy with his whole situation. Getting back into a little bit of the grind of stuff. So we have the latest Chronicles of Oz back after 2-week hiatus, I think was how long it was. Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. Who cares? It's back up. You can check it out. The original or Extra Crispy is the name of this one. And if you aren't familiar with the Chronicles of Awe, that is our wrestling simulator series where Freak Show simulates wrestling. I mean, books it and gives us the storylines he's writing and stuff like that. And then this is every other Friday. During the Fridays where it isn't the Chronicles of Awe, it is me, Frantic, versus him, Freak Show, in a booking competition. So if you're interested in something like that, check that out. You can easily access it on the site. Just look for Frantic vs. Freak Show, or I guess it's FVF is how we abbreviate it, or Chronicles of Awe. Also, Wednesday we had our Tri-Weekly Freakly, which I spelled wrong originally. And Grunt fixed for me. Thanks, Grunt.
Wow. Really?
I spelled weekly with it was W-E-A. Dude, it was a busy day. Get off my back. Where he talks about finishers in pro wrestling, and I found myself agreeing with a decent amount of stuff you were saying in it. So, wrestling heavy week this week. There wasn't a podcast, so we go back to the previous week with Grunt talking about criticizing criticism, which again, since there was no podcast, we didn't get to mention. And that's back to the whole podcast with us covering the Battlefront 2 situation. Funnily enough, when we're going to talk about Destiny 2 here in a little bit, we're going to cover something similar to that whole Battlefront 2 stuff, just not nearly the magnitude. But just to reiterate, every Monday is a podcast, Wednesday is a weekly column, Friday is Wrestling Friday, where it's going to be Chronicles of Our Frantic vs. Freak Show. Saturday we go live, and pretty much it. So if you're looking for steady content, that's typically the days you'll see stuff from us. But follow us at Frantic_Talks on Twitter to get all the updates. All right, so let's jump into our first article. This was Freak Show's choice of article this week. He opened our conversation on I called him up. And we're like, all right, let's go over some stuff here. Get ready. And he goes, hey, did you hear about this? And I'm like, no, but why? Why? I won't give it to you in the deadpan delivery he gave it to me, but we're gonna go over this here. This is stupid. So a delivery driver for Amazon was caught on camera pooping in someone's driveway. I have 2 things to say about this article. One, that's ridiculous. There's no reason given. I'm pretty sure they literally just really had to go to the bathroom. And they probably like knocked on the door and were like, "Oh, no one's home. Guess can't go to the bathroom." Oh, look, there's some grass. Dogs do it, right? And just fucking shat all over the ground.
Well, it wasn't even in the grass. It was on his driveway.
Right, that's right. It was in the driveway. So theoretically, it's technically easier to clean up. Because in the grass, it could get like the blade stuck in it, and then you gotta like. Don't ask me how I know that. And then my second point is David Moy, the guy who writes this article, hands down, one of the funniest articles I think I've read, and it's from the Huffington Post. No matter, it's not like this is some satirical website or a funny website. His puns. I feel like this is the whole reason you picked this article. You didn't even know what article I was going to link, but you knew the moment I picked one, it was going to have all the puns in it. Oh my god. Let me just read you the headline, like the opening line of this motherfucker here. A homeowner in Sacramento County, California, is down in the dumps after an Amazon delivery contractor left a pile of feces in front of his house. Down in the dumps. Gotta be kidding.
Yep. Those are my kind of people.
And that's not the only pun. I'm not just saying, oh, he had a really good opening line. It's like every other fucking paragraph has something. Let me see here. Let me find another one. Oh, that's right. He said the company gave Batista a gift card to apologize for all the crap he had to deal with. Jeez. It's kind of ridiculous. It's a short article. Freak Show said, hey, did you hear about the Huffington Post? Or not the Huffington Post article. Did you hear about the Amazon driver who shit on someone's lawn? And I'm just like, what? Freak Show? This is a gaming podcast. And he's like, it doesn't have anything to do with gaming, but we're going to cover it. Anyways. Grunt Dad, you can scream all you want. He normally has to be quiet during this time of day because we're recording, but Grunt is not on. So go ahead, Storm. Go knock some pans around and shit. Who cares?
Corn Palace is now in the Discord chat.
All right, so if you want to see this Corn Palace, join our Discord channel. You can head over to twitter.com. Check out at Frantic_talks. It should be the pinned tweet. Just click that link. You're automatically in if you have a Discord account. No passwords or anything needed. All right. So that's that. There's nothing else to add about this. It's just stupid. But let's go over something actually gaming related. Unless you have anything to add to this, Freak Show. Your article.
That guy had a pretty shitty day.
You know, I don't know why I offered to let you say something there.
Did you see what happened after that, though?
No, I did not.
So the guy had another delivery from Amazon the next day.
Oh, this is not in this article.
It's not? It must be in another article. But the guy had another delivery from Amazon the next day, and the driver just pulled up and chucked his package into the driveway.
So, like, in the fucking classic, like, TV shows where they're throwing newspapers, he just did that with his package?
Yeah, the guy said that the security camera caught him, and he must have chucked that package from, like, 20 yards away.
This guy must be like renowned in
I don't know
the delivery scene.
Yeah, I don't know what he did to piss him off, but
over the course of 24 hours, he got a driveway full of shit in a package, chucked 30 yards or whatever. So,
but he didn't have to clean the shit up, though.
He didn't?
No, he filed a complaint with Amazon, and Amazon sent someone out to clean the shit up.
That's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
I mean, to be fair, they're kind of responsible for the guy or the person that shit in the front yard. So
it's true.
All right, let's stop talking about this and let's talk about something actually gaming.
It's a dirty job, but someone has to do it.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyways,
all right.
PlayStation Plus and games and Xbox Gold, or Xbox Live, I guess, have these features where you get free games. If you didn't know that already. Last year, we went over the same article series from Polygon, and we're going to go over it again this year because it's always interesting to see which one theoretically won based off of statistics alone, not based off of, overall
the Nintendo Switch one.
Overall quality. Don't they have a thing like this, or are they moving towards a thing like
this? I honestly don't know.
I want to say we covered a story at one point where they said they were doing that. Grunt might remember. Grunt, when you hear this part, let me know. Tell us in the chat. So PlayStation Plus, to read the headline, gave out $1,287 worth of games in 2017. Were they any good? What this article does is it shows you everything that came out each month. So we don't have to go through and read all the names of everything. I'm gonna admit I don't even know half of these freaking games. I don't have a
Neither
PlayStation.
do I.
Yeah, not having a PlayStation, we'll do that. So the first month they had a 74 critic score with about $93 worth of games. Polygon says this isn't a good start. Little Big Planet 3 in February, Starwall, which I've actually played Starwall. A bunch of other random games. But otherwise, that's basically it in this category. Followed by March, they had some games. I don't actually know any of those games.
Can I just point out that the first game they gave away in January was called Day of the Tentacle Remastered?
Was it really?
So that game already existed, and I still don't know about it.
The Day of the Tentacle Remastered. Huh. Interesting. Anyways, March, Earth Defense Force 2025 apparently is the only thing saving this one. April, Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time. Shout out. That's a really fun game. Grunt says, by the way, on the Switch topic, I think they were wanting to do some sort of subscription-based thing into Switch, but not sure if it's similar to games. I'm in the same realm. I'm pretty sure they wanted to do something to that degree. So, anyways.
Oh, so they were going to have something like the old Sega channel.
Yeah, I think so, actually. Actually, I think you're right there. Our Xbox Games Pass, I think they were wanting to do something similar like that, where you can play it while it's in like the streaming section. Now that I say that, that sounds about more right. So in April, Lovers in Dangerous Space Time and 10 Second Ninja, both games I own and play. Those are really good games, especially Lovers in Dangerous Space Time. If you get a group of 4 people, go play that. Let's see. Moving on, we got Blood Knights in May. Laser Disco Defenders. I want to play that. Tales from the Borderlands. That's a really good one there. June, Killing Floor 2, Life is Strange, Neon Chrome. Those are all pretty decent games. In my opinion, it says, the article writer says mediocrity. Killing Floor 2 was a saver money-wise. In July, we got the Game of Thrones game. Elemental with a 4? That's a weird name. Until Dawn. That was a crazy big one. Let's see. August, we got Just Cause 3, Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry. I don't know what that one is. Is that the side-scroller one? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Anyways. September, Infamous Second Son's a pretty good game. I remember playing that a couple years ago. So I'd actually have played that one. It's on a friend.
Well, actually, it says that right underneath it says Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry was a DLC expansion for Black Flag.
Oh, I skipped over that. I'm more interested in just throwing the names out there. Okay, so that's what that was. Okay. Let's see. October, we got Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. That's pretty good. Followed by Monster Jam Battlegrounds and the Amnesia Collection. This is a pretty good month. October was really good. November, Worms Battleground and another Until Dawn. I think that's a expansion. And finally, in December, we got Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition. I quite enjoy that. A Kung Fu Panda game. And nothing else that I recognize. So, according to the article writer, there is no way to polish this turd. PlayStation Plus started trending into unknown last year as it scrounged together indies to support the PS Vita, which they're no longer making games for anyways. So if we're looking strictly at numbers, we have an average Metascore of 71.3, average price of around $17.50. The game age is roughly 2.3 years average, and the best Metacritic month would have been January. Money-wise, March. Newest games were in March. Other interesting stuff if you're curious. Total value $1287.25. It goes over some more averages based on the platform you would have gotten the free games for, PlayStation 3, 4, and Vita. So that's where that stands. Looks like it probably wasn't too good, but let's go over Xbox Games with Gold as well. So sorry if you're not enjoying the statistical breakdown here, but either way, it's always cool to see this because it might influence how many of these games you go grab. Sure, it's free games, but overall, is it worth it on one console versus another? So let's get started here. January, we had Killer Instinct Season 2, Rayman Origins, and World of Van Helsing in the Cave. Looks like this was a pretty strong month, followed by Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time in February, and Star Wars The Force Unleashed, Monkey Island 2. This one's looking really good as well. March, we had Evolve, Ultimate Edition, Borderlands 2, Heavy Weapon and Layers of Fear. Evolve kind of is a weird one. That was the first person shooter that was supposed to evolve the genre, and then it was literally awful.
There's a fun fact about the January Killer Instinct one.
Yeah.
The January before that, they gave away Killer Instinct Season 1.
Mm-hmm.
So
we might get Killer Instinct Season 3.
You might get Killer Instinct Season 3 in January, yeah.
Wasn't this the same year that Arbiter showed up, or was that last year?
The Arbiter showed up Season 3, whenever that actually came out. Which I'm going to guess was last year.
Huh. Okay. Ooh, excuse me.
Also, Killer Instinct 1 hit Grunt with that 93 hit combo.
I remember seeing that video. Poor Grunt. Let's see. So April, we got Rise, Son of Rome, Walking Dead Season 2, Assassin's Creed Revelations, and Darksiders. Jesus. Interestingly enough, they note that Darksiders 2 was offered with Games and Gold in 2014 before the original Darksiders. If you got this, I would absolutely recommend it. Darksiders is a fun game. Let's see. May, we had Lego Star Wars, The Complete Saga, Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2, because May the 4th. Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris and Gianna Sisters. That's an interesting mix. The Star Wars games are definitely cool. The Lego games, actually, in general, if you ever get a chance to play the Lego games, I would recommend those. Especially if you have a friend over for like couch co-op. Let's see here. June, we got Speedrunners. I love that game. Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed 3, and Dragon Age Origins. Jesus Christ, that's a crazy, crazy month. Speedrunners is the one that maybe most of you have not heard of. That's a really fun couch co-op game too. I would highly recommend that. If you're looking for a really simple short game for friends. It's just a side-scroll game where you're running really quick and having to dodge obstacles and stuff, trying to knock everybody out by running farther ahead of them. Pretty fun game. July, we got Kane and Lynch 2, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, Grow Up, and Runbow. Never heard of those last two I just mentioned. But this is... That's an interesting week, I suppose. I'm really mad I missed out on August. I should have gone for it, but Trials Fusion was in August. We got Slime Rancher, which I have. Bayonetta is another really good one. And Red Faction Armageddon. And if we keep going through these lists, Battlefield 3 is in the next month. Forza Motorsport 5, October, Medal of Honor, Rayman 3. It looks like Xbox kind of blew it out of the water, or blew PlayStation out of the water.
Definitely.
Because I just keep reading these and seeing games that I've heard of, I know are pretty decent, and would absolutely play if I would have gotten them for free. With this last month kind of being a meh month with Back to the Future, Warhammer, Child of Eden, and Marlowe Briggs and the Mask of Death being games literally I've never heard of. I think Back to the Future is the only one I even know by namesake.
You didn't see Back to the Future the game anywhere?
Honestly, I didn't. I have lied. I know what Warhammer is. I just haven't heard of the game specifically that they're mentioning that is free.
I'm pretty sure the Back to the Future one is a Telltale game.
Okay.
And the Warhammer one is like...
Well, I knew the Telltale game, but I thought it would have said something different.
The Warhammer one's like Left 4 Dead, only a lot worse, and only multiplayer. So.
Okay. Yeah, because the guy who does this article mentions that Back to the Future, the game, is old and poorly reviewed. Unless you're a big Warhammer fan, which is a multiplayer-only game, like you just mentioned, this is a pretty meh month. So
you're not going to say the line that he actually says?
As they say in West Texas, El Paso.
Yeah.
I didn't want to give you the satisfaction. So
that's too bad.
So here's what's interesting. The average Metascore is only 77, compared to the 71, I think, was from the PlayStation. With the average price of $21 and 45 cents to $21.50, we'll call it. And the average age being actually 4.4 years, which you're looking to get new games that obviously Xbox Games with Gold is not the way to do that. You'd probably want to look more to the Game Pass or just outright buying the games, of course. But it looks like they definitely did a lot better. And the total value is only $1,030 compared to the $1,287 and change that PlayStation Plus had. But when you look at the games that they actually offered, it was easily much better and for a cheaper cost, essentially. So it feels good knowing that there isn't all bad news being an Xbox One owner. Like, seriously. Everyone's like, why don't you just get the PlayStation? And that was one of the arguments back when the consoles were announced. It was like the Xbox is more expensive, bulkier, less known games, and everything's switching to PlayStation. There's a silver lining. You get a lot of cool free games, I guess. I'm not trying to convert anybody, but that's nice to know that isn't just all shit on our end. So,
yeah, it's not like that guy's driveway.
It's not like the guy who got his driveway shit on, which is covered in shit. All right, so we got one more thing to talk about today, and it is this whole Destiny 2 thing. And I say thing because, honestly, I only know the Cliff Notes version of it, and I barely even can tell you that. I'm going to let Freak Show try and describe it here. I'm going to use the This Week at Bungie background, just so you know we're talking about Destiny. And before he starts, just to let you know, Curse of Osiris comes out on the 5th. It is a 44 gig update, download, whatever you want to say, that is mentioned in this article. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of downloading.
I'm going to have to get rid of some stuff off my hard drive.
Yeah, if I still had my 500 gig, I'd have to get rid of stuff. But I think I have about 500 free on my current one. That math adds up. All right. Freak Show, can you tell me what's been going on with Destiny 2 lately?
A bunch of shit, like that guy's driveway.
You already made that joke, bud. Keep going.
I'm gonna make it anyway. You wanna do this? Let me make the joke.
I mean, I'd do it if I knew the details. I couldn't find an article in the short time that we had. So.
Well, you don't, so you're gonna have to deal with my joke.
Okay. So what actually?
No matter how shitty it is.
Oh my god.
So when they did the Clarion Call?
Yeah.
I forget what weekend that is. But some people were noticing that they weren't getting as much XP as the tracker actually said they were.
Okay.
So people went in and did maths and stuff that I would never do, but I'm glad someone did. And they found out that the longer you play a certain activity, be it, strikes, public events, what have you, you actually get less experience, but the tracker still shows you the same number.
Interesting. So why are people upset about that in particular? Besides the fact that you play longer, you get less.
Well, because it's basically Bungie throttling how much XP we can get to try to keep us there longer. Or since after you hit max level, when you level up, you get the bright engram.
And for those that don't know, the bright engram is
a very bright engram.
Well, it's very bright, but it also is the microtransaction reward, essentially. So you get a bright engram, you cash it in, you get stuff that you could get with microtransaction money. Stuff that doesn't affect gameplay in any manner, but they're all aesthetics and things you can get. So continue.
Yeah. So they could also be doing it to give people more incentive to open their wallets to get the stuff from the bright engrams they really want.
And that's the part that I heard about.
Yeah.
Most particularly. Fire Team medals or medallions or emblems or whatever those were. Tokens. Fire Team tokens, that's right.
Yeah.
Those were the ones that I saw the really big complaint about. So for the uninitiated, the Fire Team tokens, you get rewarded some of them in the game for doing certain things, but they are one of the more cheaper things you can buy with Bright Dust, which is the currency you get when you pay money in the game. Real world money out of your back pocket. So
also very bright.
It's also very bright, yes, and hence the name. So you use this Bright Dust, and you can buy like Fire Team tokens, for instance. This is where the big issue is. Fire Team tokens give you an XP boost. I don't remember how long it is. It's like 2 hours in game, isn't it?
No, it's like 4 hours.
That's right. Yeah, it's a long time. It's 4 hours for a relatively cheap cost, I think, but still it costs. So the problem here is that reducing how much XP you get the longer you play, basically, which they did this recently, if I'm not mistaken, right? This wasn't at the beginning of the launch.
I'm pretty sure it was recently.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because I've been noticing the more I've been playing that I was getting a lot less bright engrams. So
like could have been there from launch, but nobody really noticed because there was other stuff to do. So who really knows?
Okay, that's a fair point. But the main stipulation here is that they're putting money into the game, and the longer you play with this medallion going, or fire team token, whatever it's called, because I can't remember off the top of my head, the longer you play with this, the less you're getting out of it. So it's essentially, if people, the main argument I heard was if this holds true, that they just recently started this, it means that the money you put into the game towards the beginning of the game is now deflated compared to what you would put in and get now. So it's essentially you invested money into the game and now are getting less in return than what you had initially bargained for, is the best way to put that. That was the argument I heard and saw and understood the outrage, because that's just kind of ridiculous. So people are kind of up in arms about that, and on top of the end game of Destiny being, for lack of a better term, lackluster, the community is pretty upset because it's like, we took away random rolls in the guns, which means our grinding to get the best gun in the game is gone, so we just get the best gun immediately, wherever it's from, which could be the multi-tool or the Time War Inspire, whatever gun it is currently.
I do have something to touch on in regards to random rolls on weapons when we're done with this.
Oh, no, you're good. I'll make a note in my mind, because I don't have paper. So the end game being kind of meh, strikes being really long and not really worth the effort half the time, and then the not so balanced Crucible, where I don't know if they've touched on the matchmaking, but it was basically they just don't have any logic to it. It was just throw it in with the closest match. In match I mean connection, not like skill based, so you could just get annihilated in a game. Basically just a lot of things that were really good in Destiny 1 that towards the end just didn't transition into Destiny 2. And I believe back when we were talking about what we'd love to see out of Destiny 2, and I'm pretty sure you were in on this podcast, we were saying we'd love to see a lot of the stuff in Destiny 1 make its way into Destiny 2, lessons learned, we know where we're going. And it's almost like they hit the reset button and just started over, and we're like, yeah, we're just changing stuff, and we're not gonna listen to what we did in Destiny 1. It's like it was an entirely separate team and no communication was had between the two. I don't understand how that happened. I don't understand why that happened.
I don't know.
But that's essentially where it is, where the Bright Dust is not honestly too big of a deal in my mind, simply because the XP is just aesthetic. Granted, there's probably 1 or 2% of people who are actually using those tokens to level up a character, like actually level them up, so it impacts their in-game speed.
Well, I think the outrage comes more with when Curse of Osiris drops, they're upping the max level cap.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then. So we're going to be leveling characters, and it's going to be slower, meaning we got to spend more time in game. Theoretically, entice us to spend money to level up faster.
Right.
Which seems pretty shady. As many of my friends would have said. Shady? What?
Nothing.
Oh, you said
Nothing.
Slim Shady.
I did.
As what most of my friends would say, what would you expect from Activision? And to that's a fair point. Having just picked up Call of Duty 4, you would what?
What? Nothing. Made a stupid joke.
I mean, I
would expect them to have an active vision.
Oh, okay. So say anytime you say something under your breath, I'm pretty sure I know what you said, but I want to make sure people hear it. So, with Call of Duty 4 Remastered, it's a good example because having recently played it, I'm seeing what Activision does. The game has a lot of microtransactions in it now when it originally just didn't. Which I did not know when I bought it, I'll be 100% honest. I was just like, oh, COD 4 Remastered is finally a separate thing and on sale for, I forget how much it was, I'll buy that. Shoot, I love that game. There's pretty much, it's all aesthetic, except for a couple extra guns that were added that weren't in the original base game that they remastered, and you can only get them out of loot crates. Which is, what the hell? That threw me through a loop. It was like the MAC-10, there was an assault. There was 2 assault rifles,
like
2 submachine guns. Huh?
Like the rapper MAC-10?
No, there's a submachine gun called the MAC-10, but good try. There's a decent amount of guns that weren't in the original game that you have to pretty much loot crate to get. And I don't know if those are the pay-only loot crates or if they're loot crates you can get by slowly earning in-game currency, but it's very similar to Destiny 2, where it's like in-game currency, you can get the same stuff that other people could pay to get. It's just in this case, it's actually impacting gameplay. Now, I don't think the guns are like crazy good by any means, but they aren't just reskins of another gun. So theoretically, you could argue they might be better or worse, whatever. But
well, I mean, for the low price of $13.37 plus $6 shipping, they could just subscribe to Loot Crate, try to get stuff.
They could, though. You bring up a good point. It's actually much better than the loot crates in these games. You get arguably tangible stuff you'll like. Like my hood ornament on my car is the arrow. It's from a freaking loot crate. Like, I love that little thing. I just got my oil change today and they were complimenting me on it. That thing has brought me so much joy. Yet, if I spend money on an in-game thing, it's like, like 2 people are going to see it and care. So, random sidebar. But anyways, that's essentially the Destiny 2 thing and where it sits currently. They have an expansion coming out. We're going to get our level cap increased. We'll get to your random gun roll here in a minute. They get it increased. We're going to be gaining XP at arguably a slower rate because if we play the game longer, they don't want us to marathon through it, is what it seems like. So you have to come back to it the next day. I don't blame Bungie for this. I blame Activision because it's very similar to EA. It's people who aren't involved on it set a goal. They set the exact thing that needs to be done. And if you're in the developer's shoes in this case, if you are Bungie, a developer at Bungie who has to code this ridiculous expectation, or whatever it is they're telling you, you either walk out or get fired or do it. You don't really have the option. So if anyone is going to go attack the developers, 1, don't do that. 2, if you're going to give feedback, it has to be constructive and nice because it's not them making the final call. It's the guys who, are in charge of the budget and see a bottom line and say, this is how much needs to be put in. And we kind of went over that with EA. It's like, you shouldn't be calling out people and doing rude stuff to them and saying, go kill yourself. That's the worst thing you could possibly do. Don't ever do that. But to give them constructive feedback and make sure that they understand this is not cool, maybe don't buy the game or buy in-game currencies, stop playing the game and see that their player base is dwindling. Maybe it sends a message, maybe it doesn't. We don't know, but the best thing you can do is to give the feedback that you feel is most appropriate. And I will say for sure, I don't like this. I don't like that they're just basically trying to milk every minute you have and make you put all your time into it. That was what I was like praising this game for in the beginning. It was like, it seems like as a casual guy, I can just get the engrams that you guys do in the raids without having to do the raids. It's pretty sweet. Now I have to grind more to get more stuff. Just feels like almost counterintuitive even. But
right.
I don't know. Do you have anything to add? Like, what your opinion on it or anything like that?
It's, in my opinion, Destiny 2 is too hardcore to be a casual game with the amount of stuff that you need to get, like you just said. But it's too casual to be a hardcore game. It's like they just don't know what they want to be.
Or they tried to like have a meet in the middle somehow, and maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. I don't know, but yeah, that's a good point. So Grunt has a point about the download size of Curse of Osiris real quick, and then I'll let you talk about your random rolls. He says the updated info about storage space is that it's 44 gigs for the base game, he believes, and he linked to a Twitter. He linked a Twitter link. I couldn't think of a better way to say that. I haven't actually clicked on it yet because I'm pretty sure it's going to open up in the screen in front of your face. We're going to find out here right now. No, it didn't. Okay, we're good. So this is from Destiny Player Support. There will be a maintenance period prior to the release of Curse of Osiris. During this maintenance period, players will have the option to preload Destiny's update at around 6 gigs. So it's not 44 gigs.
Well, that's good because the wording in the article is not, it doesn't convey that.
Okay. Well, we'll spare the time for me to scroll through and look through it and ask what you had to say about random rolls before we wrap up this episode here.
Well, the day before the This Week at Bungie came out, they outlined a bunch of quality of life updates and stuff. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that they were adding, I believe it's on the 5th, either the 5th or the 12th, because there's 2 quality of life updates this month.
Okay.
They're adding a new weapon tier. Also, ignore the D10 that was in my hand right there. It's okay.
I didn't see it. You're good.
Good. Well, now you know it was there. They're adding a new weapon tier, and it's going to be, I believe it's only going to be for legendary weapons, but it's Masterworks, and it features stat trackers and random re-rollable stat bonuses. So it won't be
true RNG, true random rolls, but
right. It won't be like the random like explosive round rolls and stuff like that, but it could be like faster reload speed or more range.
What about
basically?
I was going to ask about resiliency and stuff. Are they touching that, or is it just?
They don't touch on that. The picture they use for it, which is all I have to go on, is it's a Uriel's gift.
Okay.
And it has plus reload speed. So that's the only thing I really have to go on. Okay. So
that's good. Well, that'll be at least interesting to let you maybe get a better roll of a gun you like, but isn't good enough in the meta in the Crucible, or you just don't like how it plays when you're running around shooting the PvE
cough,
stuff.
Cough, better devils, or any hand cannon.
Yeah, get a faster reloaded hand cannon or a better recoiled one, right?
Stuff like that. You saw that hand cannon I tried to use when we played together.
It was so bad. Like flying out of his hand every time he pulled the fucking trigger. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so that's basically, I don't think there's much else we can add about the Destiny 2 thing that we didn't kind of already say in the Star Wars Battlefront 2, where it's basically just the developers aren't at fault here because they either do something or they're going to get fired. And when you're in that situation and this is your livelihood, you're obviously not going to get fired unless they're asking you to do something that you just feel is so unethical that you can't do it. To name a very, very ridiculous example, if your employer says code this thing that's going to kill somebody and you don't want to kill somebody, you're not going to do it. But it's not that situation, obviously, but you get what I'm saying. More than likely they're going to have to just do what they have to do. And then take the criticism, even though some people don't realize it's not really their fault. Ultimately, it comes down to not going crazy at the people who made this and giving the proper feedback, whether it's not buying the game, not buying in-game currency, or just not playing it in general. There are going to be people who spoon feed money into the game. Remember that story we talked about, the accounting guy who took $4 million from his firm in secrecy and spent $1 million of it on Clash of Clans? There are going to be people like that are just stupid enough to put money into the game. And if they're going to bank on those 3 or 4 people playing their game, if there's only those 3 or 4 people playing the game, they're not going to keep playing if there's no one else to compete against. So essentially what I'm saying is there's a proper way to do this and an improper way, which is basically don't send death threats or haze people or whatever. Do the proper feedback. Your wallet is probably the most powerful tool you have. So that's the best way I can put it. I'll let everyone come to their own decision on Destiny 2. I personally think it's kind of ridiculous, although I enjoy playing it with you guys, and I already bought the collector's edition, so I'm going to get all the DLC and stuff without having to pay anything extra. I have not bought a single microtransaction, so that's where I stand to give full disclosure. But ultimately, it's up to you guys how you play, if you play, and how you interact with it.
I mean, Xbox Live gave me a free $5 for some reason. And I just used that to buy bright engrams because it wasn't my money I was spending.
I think that's fair. I think I did spend a little bit of money in Destiny 1, but it was because I had leftover money from it. And it was like, well, what am I going to do with $2 in the Xbox store?
Right.
So, yeah. Regardless, though, I'd love to know what you guys listening think. Ultimately, we like Destiny. We like playing it. It's just there are things that are really polarizing. It's hard to say where you land and be like, I'm not going to play this game ever again or something like that. I know many people will be adamant about that and will do it. Every place has that, in the NFL, and people kneel for the national anthem. People are like, I'm boycotting the NFL. It's just the thing that's going to happen. People are going to jump away from it. I'm not personally one of those people. I'll play what I enjoy, but I'm not going to go throw money at something to make myself better. Whatever. You can't really do that in this game, but that's just where I'm saying. But I'd love to know what you guys think, where you land, your opinions on that. Continue the conversation. Most simple way to do that, hit us up on Twitter. I'm at FranticJ3, as you can see next to me here. On the other side, he is at FreakShow187, and we are at Frantic_Talks. And our normal podcast co-host, Grunt, is at Onyx Spartan, all one word. And like I said, just hit up Frantic_talks if you want to just kind of speak to us all. Save a couple of those characters or whatever. We can have a conversation about it, whatever you'd like. Also, head over to facebook.com/Frantic Talks. Give us a like. That's where you'll get a more Facebook form of Twitter. Twitch.tv/Frantic Talks, all one word, where we go live every Saturday, usually at 3 p.m. Eastern, usually, where you can join in on the conversation like Grunt did today, even though he couldn't be here live. And Grunt Dad or Storm and so many people joined us last week on the Star Wars Battlefront, or not last week, last episode. You can join in, get a shout out, throw your 2 cents in, be a part of the podcast history, or whatever you want to call it.
Like literally throw your 2 cents in.
Yeah, just throw 2 pennies at the screen. We'll take any donations.
Yeah, exactly.
And then head over to franticdocs.com, where you can find all our articles, whether it's Monday a podcast, Wednesday a weekly column, Friday Wrestling Friday, any of that, whatever sparks your interest, you can go check those out. Next week I'm going to have an article up. I don't know if it's going to be about gaming or if it's going to be my top 10 albums of the year, which I've written and am retuning every 5 minutes. We'll find out. But if you head over to franticdocs.com, all the information I just mentioned is in the footer, along with a link to Discord, a link to our Xbox DVRs, and all other cool stuff there, along with magic.frantictalks.com being our Magic the Gathering side of the website. There was a big controversy in the Magic world that I thought about talking about, just as a quick aside here. But Polygon actually did an article that runs down everything in the most unbiased way possible, and I can't really add to it too much, so we didn't cover it. But if you are a main listener of the podcast, know we like Magic, but didn't want to hear our 2 cents, pretty much just go read that Polygon article, and that'll do it any more justice than I could. And you can ask me where I stand on it if you want. I don't care, but basically, go check that out. And before Grunt asks, I know that he wants me to name what metal band is all 5 colors in Magic. I will be truthful with you, Grunt. I could not think of one. You have to go with an omnipotent band, I think, and I don't know if one exists. Sorry to let you down, bud. All right.
I like Magic, watching people pull rabbits out of hats and stuff.
You know what look I'm giving you.
Oh, I know.
Right.
That's why I said it.
All right. Anyways, guys, like I said, let us know what you think, where you land on all that stuff, and continue the conversation. Hit us up on Twitter, probably the best way to do it, and we can have a good conversation there. Anyways, guys, that about does it for us, unless you have anything else to add, Freak Show.
No.
All right, man. Well, we should be live next week, but after that, we're getting towards the holidays. Follow Frantic_Talks to get latest updates on when the podcast is going live. It's sentient. It knows better than we do, and that is about it. Well, I'm Frantic, guys.
I'm Freak Show.
And we will see you next time.